guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Lola Leslie 66, and today I'm going to talk about my fourth Zen principle of good motorcycle riding habits, which is to respect where you are in your journey and to respect your boundaries and limitations. And I'm going to tell you why I feel like the Zero S is the perfect bike no matter where you are in the process. Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Lola Leslie 66. I am a mental health care nurse and a new motorcycle rider. My first street bike is a 2021 Zero S electric motorcycle. And today I want to talk about my fourth Zen principle of good motorcycle riding habits, which is to respect where you are in your journey and respect your boundaries and limitations. Why do I think that the Zero S is the perfect bike no matter where you are on your journey and will allow you to respect where you are in your learning process? The app, number one. You can use that app to create modes to make the bike perform pretty much however you want. I needed the bike to perform like the Zero XU, which is the original 2011. It had a top speed of 65 miles an hour and 19 foot-pounds of torque. This one has 78 and has a top speed of 97. So that was a little bit too much for me. When I took it down, I couldn't believe, I felt like I was on a different bike. I felt like I was back on the XU, only prettier, because I think this bike is so much prettier than the XU. So that's number one. The other thing that's great about this bike for a beginner is if you don't have any experience working on cars or motorcycles or anything like that and you're not mechanically inclined, this is a super low maintenance, easy bike to take care of. The most complicated thing that would have to be done on this bike is probably bleeding the brake fluid, tires, brakes, brake fluid. There's no clutch, there's no gears, there's no oil changes. You don't have to put gasoline in it. If you're lucky like me, I got the charge tank upgrade so I can charge it at a public charging station. But this is a super low maintenance bike, and if you don't know anything about motorcycles, this is a nice bike to own because you won't have to do a lot of work on it. It is expensive for a beginner bike, probably costs 2 to 3 times more than what most people would spend on their first bike. But like I said, you can adjust this bike to wherever you are in your journey. If you're a beginner like I am, I took that torque all the way down. When I get better, I can bring it up. If my husband wants to ride it, he's advanced. He just presses the mode into sport mode and he's good to go. So that's why I think this bike is great. If you've been following me know that I had gotten a little intimidated by this bike. I was hitting the throttle when I was trying to brake and it was having disastrous results. And I started wondering if I got in over my head when I bought this bike, that maybe I wasn't respecting my boundaries and where I was in the process. But then a couple of really awesome fellow Zero motorcycle owners told me about using the app. Now I knew there was an app, but I didn't realize just how awesome this app is. So I looked at what the XU specs were because that was the bike that I had learned on, and I took the torque down to what the XU was so that it would underperform the way the XU does. And I had the best time riding this bike. I mean, the last 2 times I rode this bike after doing the whiskey throttle, I didn't enjoy myself. I was terrified. I was having an anxiety attack the whole time. So now that I took the torque down on this bike, I feel like it is the perfect beginner bike. The only thing that would make it not such a great beginner bike is that it is on the tall side for if you are short. This stock seat height is 31.8 inches. I did have it lowered. I had the lowering spring put in and it's 30.3 inches, which is still a little too tall for me because my inseam's about 28 inches. I'm 5'1". But if you are a new rider and you're interested in the Zero and you are on a little on the short side, I have 3 exercises that you can do to help yourself learn how to manage a bike that's a little bit too tall for you.
So the first exercise that I like to do, and sometimes I don't even leave the garage,
is just uprighting the bike and putting one foot down on each side at a time. And just building that muscle memory so that my feet can find the floor. And then the second exercise that I like to do, because I can't duck walk, is I just practice moving the bike, standing on the side of it. Now I should be looking in the direction that I'm moving. And it's best to rest it on your hip. And then the third exercise I do is practice braking with one foot down. So I keep my right foot on the back brake and I put my left foot down. When I took the MSF course, I had ridden a 0XU and a Honda Rebel 250. I was sort of stuck between which one to get, and for different reasons. Like, I love cruisers, but I love the Zero. I love the ride of the Zero. I'm telling you, like, for a while, I was wondering if I had made a mistake when I bought this bike and that I should have started with the Honda Rebel. When you're having trouble respecting where you are in any process, like if you have a goal in life and you haven't quite reached it yet, you are susceptible to that the grass is greener on the other side syndrome. So I know that if I had gotten the Honda Rebel, I would be sitting here having a conversation with you about how if I only had spent the extra money on the Zero, I would be out having a much better time. And this just goes back to there are no shortcuts. You have to respect where you are on your journey. Wherever you are, just enjoy it. Hopefully you've heard John Lennon's quote, "Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans." And I don't want to miss out on this part of my life because I am feeling frustrated that I'm not riding my motorcycle around next to my husband, and I'm mostly spending my time in the parking lot or my driveway. But I don't want to miss out on this part of the journey either. You only get to be a new rider once. It's really important that you're enjoying where you are when you're there. We're respecting our boundaries and limitations. We are understanding where we are in our learning process. We need to be patient with ourselves, something I have a hard time doing. I would like to be further along, but I'm not. So, and part of it was trying to figure out how to manage this bike. And now that I have it in that mode, my Lola's beginner mode, I feel like I'm gonna start doing a lot better and getting a lot more practice in. So thank you so much, guys, for continuing to join me. I really appreciate having you here. I do want to mention, I am writing a book about my 10 Zen principles of good motorcycle riding habit skills. As a psychiatric nurse and as a mental health patient myself, I've struggled a lot with panic and anxiety. One of the reasons it took me so long to learn how to ride a motorcycle was because I couldn't even overcome my anxiety to just sit on it. So this is a little bit of a more challenging journey for me than somebody who probably doesn't have a panic attack disorder. And there's a few of you that comment regularly. And I just want you to know how much it means to me that you're there, because I feel like you're giving me the motivation to overcome my anxiety and do this thing that I've always wanted to do, which is learn how to ride a motorcycle. So thank you so much for continuing to join me and continuing to support me, because it doesn't go unnoticed, and I appreciate it so much, guys. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope to see you here again soon. Hi guys, thank you so much again for joining me. Again, if you're new here, my name's Lola Leslie 66. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you like this video. I will be doing my next Zen principle of good motorcycle riding habits, which is to be prepared and think and plan ahead. And I'll be talking a little bit about my riding gear, which I like to call my favorite outfits. And you'll get to see that in my next video next week. So I hope to see you again here soon. And thanks again for joining me.